No one likes to be sick, do they? At the beginning of the new year, we wish people health and happiness for the coming year, almost as though the two go together. But illness is part of the human condition, especially in parts of the world beset by poverty, where children sicken and die from poor nutrition or unclean water, and where treatable diseases go untreated for want of funds to pay for simple medications. In Japan, the average life expectancy is 82.6 years, and in the U.S., it's 78.3. But Swaziland in Africa is about less than half of the U.S. average. There, the life expectancy is only 39.6. And 16 other African nations have life expectancies that are less than 50. With this in mind, and with the annual World Day of the Sick being celebrated on the Feast of Our Lady of Lourdes, February 11th, Pope Benedict asks us to join him in praying that the Christian communities may witness to the presence of Christ in serving those who suffer from disease in those mission territories where the fight against disease is most urgent. The Church is the body of Christ, and as Christ came to bring healing to the sick, so his body, the Church, is sent into the world to continue his work. In 2009, when he visited the African nation of Cameroon, where the life expectancy is 50.4, Pope Benedict talked about how, in the Gospels, we see Jesus spending entire days with the sick in order to bring them relief. He made a point of visiting with the sick himself and told them, "I have been looking forward to spending this time with you, and I am happy to be able to greet you, dear brothers and sisters, who bear the burden of sickness and suffering. You are not alone in your pain, for Christ himself is close to all who suffer. He reveals to the sick and infirm their place in the heart of God and in society." End quote. Unfortunately, our society, which glamorizes the healthy and youthful, doesn't want to see the sick. It doesn't want to be reminded of the inevitability of sickness and aging and mortality. Yet, as Jesus said in the famous judgment parable that can be found in Matthew chapter 25, Jesus identifies with the sick and suffering. Whatever we do for them, we do for Christ himself. And if we neglect them, we neglect Christ. Those who are sick play an important role in the lives of those who are healthy. They give the healthy an opportunity to meet Christ, who identified with his sick brothers and sisters, and to care for him present there. In his meeting with sick people in Cameroon, Pope Benedict said that we can all be like Simon of Cyrene, who helped Jesus carry the cross to Calvary. He said, "This man came to the aid of the man of sorrows when he had been abandoned by all his followers and handed over to blind violence. History tells us then that an African, a son of your continent, took part at the price of his own suffering in the infinite suffering of the one who ransomed all people, including his executioners. It is hard to accept to carry someone else's cross. Only after the resurrection could he have understood what he had done." And then, speaking to the healthcare workers who were present, Pope Benedict said, "I pray, dear brothers and sisters, that you will be able to recognize yourselves in Simon of Cyrene." This is the Holy Father's prayer for each of us this month, that we too may see ourselves in Simon of Cyrene, who helped Jesus carry the cross through which the world was to be saved. May we see Jesus in the sick and help them carry their crosses. And may we see Jesus in ourselves, that as the body of Christ, we are continuing today his work of bringing comfort and healing to the sick.